Hey there, fans of Brotherly Love Wrestling. It is I, Vic Delicious.
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City.
Hey there, Brotherly Love Wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready?
No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling, the Essential Series. It is back, our show where we break down and go over the...
And cry.
Have we cried on one of these episodes?
We should have.
We probably did.
In the beginning episodes, we would cry now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
If we just ran them back.
But a top 5 list of the essential matches of whatever the topic may be. And today, since we are less than 2 weeks out from the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam, we have the essential SummerSlam matches. So
we're on the road to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Is there even a road to SummerSlam? I don't know
if they say that, but I mean, sure.
We're on a path to SummerSlam.
The
driveway.
The bike path?
Sidewalk.
Okay.
The sidewalk slam to SummerSlam. Oh, I almost said it.
You almost did that one on accident.
Sidewalk to SummerSlam. I like it.
So, you want to go first? I really don't.
Right,
I'll let you go first. You can have 3.
You succeeded.
So
you had to beat me on the show. It was a smart move on your part. So top 5.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't like burying you on my way out.
I know, right? All right, go ahead. Top 5.
Do I want to throw it in right away just because I want to make sure it gets in there?
I mean,
but
typically,
I think it's, or do I? No, I think it's selfishly that I don't want you to have it. So do I want to just make it first?
That seems to be the premise of this show as well. Aside from top 5, we try to get the best match before the other person, which is fun too.
It's very fun. I mean, arguably the best.
Okay,
maybe the best. Maybe my personal favorite is the TLC.
Okay.
SummerSlam 2000, Edge, Christian, Hardy's, Dudley's.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like
one we definitely agree on for sure.
The perfect cast for that match. And it's not even a big, I mean, if you go back and you look at it, you're like, yeah, they're big names, but because of this is why they're big names.
Exactly.
Like
this is the reason that they're
Edge,
big names.
Christian, the Dudleys. Yeah, they're big names now. Mm-hmm. They're bigger, big-ish. Edge probably the biggest out of them all. Then Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
But it's because of this. I mean, what they did afterwards was great, but it was because of this fucking... This is what got them...
Yeah.
And it sent them to superstardom. And that's that mid-card elevation that we talk about. That mid-card talent just being like borderline right there with the fucking main event.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was insane.
Yeah. Just don't even need to describe what the TLC match was from that SummerSlam.
No, it was the first.
Phenomenal.
Now it's a fucking pay-per-view. Yeah. TLC was that big.
Although they still do. No, they went back to Extreme.
I don't know if they still do. It was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, for a long time.
Past tense.
Yeah, for a long time. Yes.
That match itself created its own pay-per-view.
Yeah.
TLC could be more iconic than Hell in a Cell.
Tough. There's a good debate. That's a very good debate.
We'll what's the saying? We'll cap that.
Cap that.
Cap that.
Well, now cap that wouldn't make much sense because now
cap doesn't mean what it
is. No. Exactly.
Now we'll put a pin in it.
There you go. That'll work.
Well, that'll work. That's a tail.
I like that. Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
So all right, I can cross that off my list.
Mm-hmm. Now it begins to get tough because now you're gonna take a really good one.
Yeah, and again,
but you're gonna also have to get to the point of where you're gonna have to get selfish.
Selfishly, I want to get one on there that I want to make sure gets on there because you have your 3 and I have 2.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna immediately be selfish.
Hold on.
What?
Can I guess it?
I mean, yeah.
Can I guess it?
Yeah, you can guess it.
And you want to be selfish. All right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Which
I want to let me guess.
I feel like go ahead.
Is it Shawn Triple H unsanctioned?
No.
For an honorable mention, man.
It is not.
Who is it?
You were right with the first competitor. Yes, it is Shawn Michaels. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the second match that Shawn Michaels had with Razor Ramon. Ladder match. Yes, in 1995, which quite honestly,
no, that's not selfishly, but that's still
it still
gets to be. It should,
even though I'm a giant HBK fan, I think it still belongs there regardless.
I still think it hits top 5. I mean, it depends on the day. It might be top 3. Who knows?
Yes. But this, honestly, for me as a fan, I enjoyed more than WrestleMania 10. Yeah. I enjoyed the second one more. Like, I know how great WrestleMania 10 is, don't get me wrong, for being that groundbreaker. But I felt like Razor and Shawn, the second one in 95.
They worked out the kinks.
Yes, exactly. And added more to it. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that ladder match was better and obviously belongs on this list. But yeah, I love that ladder match.
I thought you were gonna go like something that could have been a questionable top 5.
Yeah.
And went that route.
No.
But no, I'm not mad at that one.
Okay.
That one.
Would you have put that, would that have been on your list? No,
it would have been, well, it would have all depended on, if it would have made my top 5 if I was just making it by myself. It would have been top 5, but no, I wanted to make sure a certain 3 made it. And now this is where I really
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Because now I'm looking at 3 more.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see.
All right, so Brett Bulldog.
Okay.
I mean, if Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania, then Bret Hart is Mr. SummerSlam. Because he could have 3 in the top 5 himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And now, I will say this: I don't think he's good because there was 3 that I really like from him, and the third one isn't going to make it because you're not going to pick it. But it's a fantastic wrestling match.
And I'm really torn now between my second one because.
But I mean, this was blood. This was one of the original Bloodline storylines.
Yes,
where the brother-in-law against the patriarch of the fucking Hart Foundation, dude. Thinking back on it, it's really the Bloodline stories don't miss.
No, never have
because. And I'll just go out on a limb and say there might be more Bloodline in this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going for it?
Mm-hmm. Because you said Bloodline, you made my decision, and with my second pick and the 4th of the list, I'm going with Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Oh my God!
2022. No, I'm going with this match. Was entertaining from the entrances, from the promo, in the big ass backo where he throws the mic.
Giddy up, Brock.
What?
Giddy up, Brock.
Yeah, where he throws the mic and Reigns catches that thing like he knew it was coming, and then he dives off, and everything in that storytelling was great.
I'm going to give you this because it's a recent one. And it's fresher in the memory where I wouldn't have to go back and watch it. I'll give you this one.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't have been in my top 5, but I'm gonna let this one slide because it is a fresh in the memory one.
And the other reason I feel like it belongs, like you alluded to, it's a part of this lore that is the Bloodline. It's a part of the Bloodline build. It is dead in the heart of making Roman what he is. And that match, lifting the ring with the fucking backhoe and piling everything on Lesnar, like that whole time. Don't forget, Money in the Bank briefcase was brought out, even though it was never realistic that Austin Theory was going to be able to cash that in last year. But everything in that match. There are other ones, I will admit. There are other ones that probably should go over it. And I'm looking at 2 of them right now that I don't think you're going to pick that probably go over it. But I couldn't help but put this in there because the importance of the greatest storyline in wrestling.
All right.
So now you have to end really strong.
I mean, I told you he's going to make 2.
Okay, so that's where you're going with it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
go ahead.
Just another. You know what? I like this one more than I like Bulldog Brett. And that's Brett Owen in the steel cage.
That's what I thought. I have that on there too.
I mean,
okay.
Dude, those two together, it was so perfect. It was so perfect. And in a steel cage where I'll tie off of something that this just happened this past week on TV, and I'll tie it together. And I don't usually do this. But we just passed Blood and Guts. Yes. We didn't get to discuss any of that this show, and since we're not doing another show, I figure I'd tie it in a little bit. So Blood and Guts was the purpose of that steel cage style match was in the name itself, Blood and Guts. And that's kind of what AEW's MO is for these cage matches that they have. Mm-hmm. They want to make sure it's brutal and bloody. Yes. This is the exact opposite of what Brett and Owen.
Yes.
And not going to just say this because of who was in this match, but I like the psychology of and people trying to outsmart one another to how they're going to get out of the cage, as opposed to just beating the living shit out of each other inside of a cage. I like the trying to escape portion. I think that it's just such better drama. It just is.
All right, so then I'm gonna keep staying on that psychology of it then.
Okay.
So then, because Blood and Guts, obviously, it's War Games.
Yeah.
No secret to anyone else. War Games, correct me if I'm wrong, the concept is you're beating the other team because of this giant animosity you have towards it, correct?
Yeah.
The genesis of why you have to put 2 teams in War Games.
In two separate
and
rings.
Double cage,
Yeah.
Right? Where a typical cage is keeping other people out and keeping the guys in and seeing who can out strategize to escape.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Now I'm throwing Hell in a Cell in the middle of those two.
Okay.
Because I feel like Blood and Guts.
Well, then would you put fucking Elimination Chamber in the other corner? Because that's a cage match too.
Yeah, but the reason I say Hell in a Cell was always used because, again, it has a top.
It's like blood feud.
Yeah, exactly. To blow off a big feud.
Yeah.
Same thing with Blood and Guts. I think you're looking at it. A cage is completely different. I think the top changes the game when it comes to the psychology of what you want. Now, because when you go into Blood and Guts,
I get that.
But
there's not much psychology. That's what I'm saying. There's no psychology in beating the living shit out of each other. And that's the thing of the whole Blood and Guts thing. Like, I get it. It's supposed to be carnage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. It was carnage. But it was still a fucking spot fest. It was still picking your spots and oh, you're going to do this? Cool. We're going to dump a bunch of fucking thumbtacks. How the fuck did we get those? I don't fucking know. We just had a bag of thumbtacks and we just dumped them down. Or we have the fucking hidden fucking nail bed hidden under the ring. There's no psychology in it.
That was so brutal.
And
it was so brutal.
And the match kind of fell apart as the people started leaving. Like, I feel like the match was just like, all right. I felt the same way as Pac. Like, he was done. I was like, all right, I guess I'm kind of done too. I mean,
did you really not enjoy it like that much?
I really didn't enjoy it that much.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't like I
thought I was entertained. I liked it. I don't know if I feel like you go in with a critical eye automatically on AEW for some reason. Like, I don't feel
not
like
with everything.
I feel like there's a part of you that there's a lot of it to where you can't remove yourself and be a fan. That you go in with a critical eye a lot.
That's not true because I wanted to like this and I love the concept of War Games. It was just I don't like the whole. I'm like, here. It's gonna sound. I don't know if it's gonna sound hypocritical, but the deathmatch shit I don't need to see all the time. Like I just don't. Like
you feel like they've done deathmatch more than they
like,
could have? Yeah, AEW.
Yeah, I feel like.
Well, I think that's Moxley's
the bleeding
problem.
and the
Or
fucking
fault.
stabbing people in the head and the fucking chair shots. Like that was all their thing. Like that's why he had to make a rule about you can't do it anymore. No more unprotected fucking headshots. I mean,
Talk about Tony Khan.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they got too far into that realm of like the fucking 70s.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Sometimes it's all right. Sometimes it is all right. But the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club storyline in itself isn't really that appealing to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just not. And the whole we're going to add Pac and you're going to have to say his name.
Ibushi.
No.
Oh.
Takashita. That's why I didn't want to do it because you know it. And I got to say
I didn't know you were talking about on the same team. Takeshita, yeah.
Okay, so you add them to that. Yeah. But for why, really? I mean,
Takesha's been a part of Blackpool for a while now. He joined with.
I feel like Pac is a floater.
I mean, Pac was. I mean, again, to keep with the story, Pac was injured by the Elite. So it's still, at least you're connecting the dots storyline wise. So I'm cool with that.
Weekly. I mean, I get it. Dakota didn't look that great.
He didn't look that great. I agree. Dakota didn't look. It was cool to see.
And
him
you know what it was? You know what fucking did it? And now I will pinpoint the in my head the whole psychology. I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. If his fucking team is getting their fucking ass kicked inside of a fucking ring, why the fuck is he doing this big elaborate fucking entrance? Get your ass to the fucking ring and help. No, I don't fucking care. They're waiting for the big pop, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, cool."
He pulled a Jeff Hardy.
Fucking stupid.
Remember when Jeff Hardy debuted? He stood up on the ramp, and Matt was getting in the ring,
fucking ass
and he started doing the juke atop.
Yeah,
instead of running down.
Yeah, man, we're just gonna fucking let it go. It doesn't matter if it makes sense at this point. You're supposedly in a fucking blood feud. I'm gonna come out and go like this. Yes, cheer me. Yes, say my name. Yes, thank you.
When he came out and did that, I thought the same thing. I thought,
get your fucking ass to the ring.
Even the Elite, or not the Elite, even the Bucks. I don't think it was Matt. I think it was Nick who came down, and he slowly made his way to the ring. And I believe they were shorthanded at that point, and he was coming to tie it up.
The last guy.
And I'm like, you know what's going on in the ring. Did
they explain the fucking rules to him?
I mean, the Young Bucks already should know the rules. You don't have to do that.
No, Ibushi.
Oh, Ibushi. I was talking about Nick when he was walking down to the ring. He did this. I mean, he didn't do what Ibushi did, but he took his time too. And in my head, when Nick did it, I thought that. And then Ibushi came out and stood there, like you said, and I was like, I get it.
At least
I get the money shot.
At least
I get
when
it.
WWE did it, everyone wanted to get out of the fucking cell to fucking or the cage or the penalty box, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to go help their fucking teammates. They all ran down to the fucking ring. They didn't have a fucking big elaborate entrance.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look,
I get all the criticism you're saying because I saw it as well, but it still didn't take me out of it.
If I want to be entertained, but also if I see something fucking stupid that has no business being in that match, like it kind of sours it for me. Now I'm just like, oh man, well that's. Like it doesn't now. It's like it just doesn't make fucking sense. You're literally just in there, just doing shit, and there's no story to it. They're just doing shit. There's pulling weapons out. Like there's no real fucking story. You got a little bit of story sprinkled in when people started leaving. When Pac left and Don Callis pulled fucking
yeah. I know. I mean, I feel like you expecting a story in Blood and Guts is little.
It's a blood feud. There should be a fucking story. It's like it was.
And look, this is me. I want everything to have story, but I kind of threw it out the window for Blood and Guts. Like, there was already the story. This was the blood feud. This was going to be blown off.
Yeah, but it was done not greatly.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
I was entertained by it.
Here's the thing. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. You were entertained. That's good. I just wasn't.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are certain things that still entertain me in AEW. It's just fewer and far between.
Yeah.
Like, I have to actually like pick through it now. And Blood and Guts as a whole, not necessarily my favorite.
All right, so back to
Owen
Hart, Bret Hart in the
Bret
cage.
Hart. Yeah, so not a blood feud,
but in more of a literal sense.
Yeah, more in a literal sense, and more it's the little brother wanting to be better than the big brother, but still going about it in a professional way for the most part. I mean,
yeah,
but like wanting to one up and not really take the shortcut and whatnot. And it was actually Bret that fucking hung Owen up and climbed out of the fucking cage.
And that's one of the things, even though I'm not a big Bret Hart fan, I remember this storyline and rooting for Owen. Even though I'm the older brother in my family, I understood.
You were so anti-Bret.
Well, no, because this is before Bret Shawn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
this is well before Bret.
So it wasn't that. It was more seeing Bret and the way Bret carried himself, and then looking how Owen was. I mean, look,
it's the black sheep.
It's no secret that Bret came off as kind of
arrogant.
No, I won't even say arrogant. He never looked like he was having fun. Bret never, like, you watch guys and they're having fun. They look like it's a good time. Bret always looked professional, excellence of execution. I could say that. Very stern all the time. You never saw Bret smile a lot. He just was always business. Owen came to the ring. He would laugh. He would do everything. He made you feel an emotion towards him. So I think I already gravitated toward Owen. Then when this storyline came and he was a jealous little brother, I don't know why I cling to it, but I did. And I always liked Owen. And then maybe I liked his style more because he wasn't as a technician.
More vocal.
Yeah. And he was a technician, don't get me wrong.
Owen he went into the perfect medium of wrestler and entertainer.
Exactly.
So he fit into that, like, if you're going to develop like a perfect like person who has character and person who can wrestle their fucking ass off, we'll just make it fucking Owen Hart.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, him and Angle.
Exactly.
Were, like, just.
Yeah.
They would have done something fucking incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, but I love that. I was hoping you were going to put that on there because that was also on my list. So we got, to start off, the first one was the TLC.
Yeah.
I followed up with Shawn and Razor in 95. Then you had Bret and Bulldog. I got Brock versus Reigns last year. And then Owen and Bret in 94. So,
I mean,
we'll go to honorable mentions because I think we have a ton of them.
I want to say this, since he made us do this anyway. I'm interested to hear what Bag of Dick Tips Eggy's fucking top 5 SummerSlam.
Did you not see Twitter then?
No, what did he do? Did he put? No,
I
don't go on the Twitter sphere that much.
I know you're lacking when it comes to that, but
I mean, I feel like Twitter is almost.
So you want to hear his?
Yeah,
because he did post it.
He posted his.
He did.
His probably sucked.
I wouldn't say that.
They're all ours.
Yeah, they are. So aside from one, so he had Bret Bulldog.
All right, he's smart so far.
He had. This is the one who was different. He had Kurt versus Ray, which is a very good one. Honorable mention. I was going to say anyway. He had Shawn Razor.
Okay.
He had Bret Owen Cage, and he had Dudley's Edge Christian Hardy's TLC.
All right, so he gets a pass for it. 4 out of 5. It's a strong B. 80%. Actually, it's a weak B.
So, any ones that you, as far as honorable mention go, that pop off the top of your head that you didn't include or left off?
Yeah, this is another one of my favorite storylines, and I call it the new one, the WWE portion, not the WWF portion. So a newer one. I'd say that whole Daniel Bryan Yes movement storyline, one of my favorites. So him and Cena. That one I remember like being glued to because that was during the whole Triple H is gonna fucking screw you.
Yeah.
Orton's Mr. Money in the fucking Bank. It was just But he wasn't facing them. He was facing John Cena, the top of the mountain. It was really good.
And that was one I struggled with the Brock and Reigns one.
Yeah.
Because again, another great story leading into a great story.
No, it was definitely one of those like memorable moments of a story though. It definitely tied in.
Yeah. So I also have Kurt versus Austin in SummerSlam 01, which was probably, and it led to a DQ ending. Probably one of the better or best Austin match, like legit wrestling matches Austin's ever had. Which it's with Kurt Angle, so
you kind of have to.
Yeah,
it's almost as if fucking Kurt Angle makes you wrestle his fucking style.
Yeah,
what a dick.
Yeah, but he brings out the best in everybody, and that's all you can ask of a wrestler is to raise people to that level.
Well, I will say the one that I thought you were going to pick, an honorable mention. I mean, Michael's return.
Yes.
His return match against Triple H, the unsanctioned match. So
his first match in 4.5 years or something.
That return match, I mean, just the atmosphere alone and him being in there with Triple H, that was pretty cool.
Something
not even a big Shawn Michaels mark, but I like him enough. I will go out and say, yes, Shawn Michaels is one of the best in the ring, if not the best at times, depending on which Michaels I'm watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, during that return, he was the best. he was.
That run from 02 till Taker, was
he just
so. All right,
he really he did something special in that era.
I can't remember what the tag was that put it up on Twitter, but someone put a picture of 96 Michaels and then 2003-4 Michaels next to each other, and said, pick one, the other one is erased. So it's either first half of his career or second half of his career. And like in my head, I was like, oh, second half of his career. And then I'm like, but you lose.
There's a lot of classic matches.
Yeah, a whole lot.
That beginning, because you lose the boyhood dream.
You lose everything.
You can't have one without the other.
I agree.
You just can't.
I like knee jerk. I was like, oh, that's easy. All the better match. And then I started thinking about early Michaels. Early Michaels, you lose DX. You lose Brett Shawn. You use the screw job. You lose all of that formation of DX and Commissioner and him doing Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon in the Rumble and putting Vince at number 2 because he still owns all the competitors and Vince is a competitor, and you lose a lot with early Shawn Michaels.
All right.
But I still think kind of think second run.
You got all the Triple H Michaels, Taker Michaels.
And my other honorable mention, which might not be the greatest match of all time by Shawn Michaels, but one of the matches that I've always wanted to see as a young kid, and then when it happened as a teenager, made me laugh my ass off, and that's Hogan Michaels. Because that entire, you want to talk about story and vignettes, and holy shit, that was a dream match. In an era right now of dream matches always happening, because AEW contributes a lot to that, but it happens a lot now. But Hogan Michaels is just, you looked at it and went, man, what? Like, you're getting Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan? And then for him to sell like he sold to screw over Hogan and piss Hogan off, it was fucking hilarious. But still, one of my favorite SummerSlam matches ever, just as a fan. Not best, but for me, up there.
All right, so I got one more honorable mention, and it just because it doesn't have the significance factor. I mean, it definitely has the wrestling, and there's still storyline, still a good storyline, but it just doesn't have like that. Like, a lot of these matches were iconic for a reason.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, it's still a damn good match, and that's Brett versus Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental.
For the IC title.
Yeah,
Yep.
the old Intercontinental title.
Yes.
When it meant something. And I don't know. Perfect is another one. If you were to put character and technical wrestling in the same fucking
Mm-hmm.
perfect world. I mean, he's up there too.
He is.
But
I agree.
he's in an era where, I mean, wasn't there really that many great technical wrestlers besides him and Brett? It was more of the goofy
Gimmicks.
characters.
Yeah, it was gimmicks. Yeah,
gimmicks.
I agree. I mean, Brett, to an early degree, you had Sean Cumming, but he wasn't what he, you know what I mean, what he was later in his career. He still could go, but
doing goofy rockers moves.
Yeah, but those two, yeah, you're right. I mean, as far as then,
you had Savage. Savage was a fine technical wrestler, but he's still a larger than life personality.
Yeah.
He's Perfect wasn't a larger than life personality. He was just a really good bad guy and a really good wrestler.
I agree. Yeah, I saw that match on there on a list, and I was like, man,
I mean, it just doesn't hold the same.
I agree.
Wow and pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, yeah. So before we wrap this up, I do want to, because we mentioned it last week on the show when we were talking SummerSlam talk. So we were so sure of it when we said it. And now it's not going to happen. And that is LA Knight. We were like, oh, I can't wait for Austin Theory versus LA Knight. And now we're getting Mysterio. Like, and don't get me wrong, Ray's a legend, but this is now the second time where we thought, oh, well, he didn't get Money in the Bank, but he's like, you got to put him in line for United States title at least.
I'm not upset yet. I'm not. He's still over to me, even though he's losing.
He's not losing. He's over, of course.
He's not losing one-on-ones. They're big matches.
Yeah,
they have good and big circumstances. That, I mean, should he have won? I don't know, but I still want to see him. I'm still locked into whatever his storyline is becoming. That it's having layers now.
You're right,
which is nice. A story is nice with layers. Now it can still feel like he's getting screwed, but you're still rooting for him, so you still got him. Even though he's getting screwed, he's actually elevating himself more because now he's able to use his voice.
Yeah,
and now he's able to cut the promos, and he's still able to hear the crowd noise. And God, he's so good.
I saw I don't know, I would call weird, but impressive stat that he is number 1, 4, and 5 in T-shirt sales. Yes, because he has 3 different shirts.
Oh, well,
he has the LA, just the one that looks like the Dodger.
In the words of Kevin Nash, he's moving merch.
Yeah, the Dodger looking shirt, the blue Dodger shirt.
That's one.
That's one of them.
Oh, okay.
And then he has the 2 shirts, the black and then the yellow, and all 3 of them. I think the black is the one that's number 1, and then 4 and 5 are the other 2. Like, top 5, and he's 3 of the top 5. Like, the dude is putting up numbers.
It's not the same volume as the Attitude Era, but still not like an impressive number.
It is
nonetheless.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to downplay that. I came out wrong. It's impressive.
So less than 2 weeks out. Next week, if we are doing a show, not sure.
Probably not.
You're going to be on vacation, so we probably can't pull off via satellite down the shore. It's going to be very hard.
Yeah, there's more people down there this time around.
Okay,
it's going to be harder.
So you won't see us until after
post SummerSlam.
Yeah,
that's a good show too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a better show, I think. The fallout of SummerSlam.
Yeah, because now
Fallout was another good show of ours.
I know. Speaking of holding a debate, I mean,
yeah, there we go.
We could definitely do that since we're bringing shows back now.
Yeah, we should get a mediator though. You think Bill will be mediator?
I think if not, if I mean
Scott will do it.
Yeah, I was going to say we have a solid backup.
That's true.
In Scott. Scott would definitely do good mediating.
He'd be somewhat. Bill wouldn't be fair at all.
No, that's not true.
No,
I don't think you give Bill enough credit.
Bill, I feel like I have to work harder with Bill though. I feel like I wouldn't have to work as hard to prove points with Scott.
I agree.
I can manipulate Scott a little bit more. I can't manipulate Bill's too much alike me, and we think alike to the point of where he's maybe one step ahead of me. And I don't say that often.
I was going to say that's a pretty big compliment coming from you.
Yes.
So
I'm 6 steps ahead of Scott.
And there's the dig. Yes, back to the babyface again. That's what I'm talking about.
I gave you 2 episodes. You couldn't have carried it that much longer.
That's true.
Let's be honest. We know who the natural is.
I mean, I am a babyface at heart. I can't.
Yeah, I'm just
not a heel. I really am not.
It's easy for me.
So until we talk next time, whether it be Fallout, whether it be a regular episode, and we're talking the fallout of SummerSlam.
I think we do the fallout of SummerSlam because I think that's going to be a lot of talk.
Okay.
A lot to talk about because we don't know if we're going to get any returns or there's going to be any big surprise. That's usually where it comes with like.
There's rumors of Taker being scheduled to be in Detroit for SummerSlam, and he doesn't have one of his one-man shows planned in Detroit like he's been doing it when they do pay-per-view. So who knows? Maybe we could get an appearance of the American Badass in Detroit because it makes sense. American Badass, motorcycles, Detroit, Motor City.
Kid Rocks.
Yeah, it could work.
I mean, he would get the pop. But what would he be there for? Just to get
same reason John Cena was in UK, just because they can.
Oh, all right.
So I don't know.
Well, I thought it's something maybe a return that was going to actually be significant. You took it as to have fun.
Isn't that what this is all about?
No, you're supposed to be critical now.
No,
you're over a certain age. You have to be critical.
No, absolutely not. So
get off my lawn, kids.
We hope you enjoyed the show. We will talk to you after SummerSlam. Enjoy.
And if you didn't, fuck off.
Thanks for listening and watching, and we will see you next time.